Hey, what's going on YouTube? Marine X back at it again. You need a trauma kit in your life. You need to learn how to use it, and you might want to DIY it. This is my 2023 DIY micro size trauma kit, and it's a wee one. Let's dig into this thing. So why would you want a trauma kit, and why the heck would you want a DIY one? Well, first off, let's just talk about what it's like buying a pre-packaged one. So here, this is my old trauma kit. This is by Urban Medical Gear. Great company, great kits. This thing cost me about 150 bucks. Came with all sorts of goodies. I did have to add some stuff to it. You know, I did add the Leatherman Raptor shears, which I've cannibalized for this new kit, which we'll talk about here in a second. Full clamshell opening on a very well made Van Quest bag. It did come with shears. I decided to use my own. Combat gauze, Israeli bandages, quick gauze, regular gauze, chem lights, all sorts of stuff you can imagine in here. But this thing is big, and you can only adapt it using molly straps, which you also have to order on your own. Maybe you don't want to do that type of stuff. Maybe this thing is too big, and so you could try to find some other smaller kits that you might be able to deploy for other circumstances. But I decided I wanted to DIY it, and then I introduced Data Crew's Water Slider. Look at the size difference with these two things. So let's zip up this Urban Medical Gear. This thing literally comes in just like a wee baby, just nice and small, very much smaller size, and I love it. I love how small this thing is. Shout out to Data Crew for sending this thing out. They did send me some of their pouches, some of their patches and pins. No money exchange hands. There's no requirement for me to make any content from these things. I just decided I was going to kit these things out in a different way than they're normally kitted out. Let's talk about the pouch itself. Incredibly popular pouch made by Data Crew. So this thing here, this specifically is the water slider in the camo color. This thing's 60 bucks whenever it's in stock. You better be fast whenever they have a drop, because they sell out pretty fast. This thing is 4.5 inches in length. It is 3.5 inches in width and about 2 inches in depth. Mine's a lot fatter now because I've completely stuffed it. Now this thing is probably grossing near 4.5 inches. That just shows you the expandability of this thing, which is well appreciated. 500D outer shell, and it also has a urethane coat nylon. It has very, very nice YKK number 5 zippers on this thing all throughout. A nice pouch in the front, or zipper in the front that you can stick stuff in. We'll talk about what I'm running on this thing. The very entire back of this thing is running loop paneling. So if you have things with a hook back, you can run hook and loop. So this thing, similar to my smaller Ouchie Boo Boo kit, which if you haven't seen that, I will link this video up for you. I do have it with a medical label on it. I added an additional medical symbol on here just to kind of remind me that this is the big boy. This is the trauma kit. This doesn't get as opened as often as my other kit, and we'll talk about how I deploy this thing. So if you have to apply CPR to anybody, you're gonna have a CPR face mask. Comes in the same size as a contraceptive pack, so you won't be confused. But listen, any of this stuff in here, make sure you get trained on how to use this stuff. And before you just buy this and think you're gonna be ready to rock, get some training, learn some skills before you just get this. I'm CPR certified, and I'm ready to use this stuff. Out here, I do keep a flashlight. It is a white light. Why do I have this thing? I'll normally always have a flashlight on me, but if someone else is deploying this kit, if they're deploying the kit on me, if they know how to use it, then my thought process is they'll be able to use this light. It's easily detachable, comes off. It's by Night Eyes. Here's a duplicate copy of it here. And it comes off with this little hook here. And what they can do is they can use this to shine. Maybe someone else holds it and they can see exactly what they're doing. Very large YKK zipper. Let's dive into this pouch itself. So once we get this thing open, you see it now just kind of bust open, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with the fact that this kit is rarely open compared to my Ouchie Boo Boo kit. There's not a reason to be in this kit more often than when it is needed. So that means that everything inside has a specific use in a specific time when you will pull it out. First thing right here on top is a chest seal. This is specifically for a 2-pack, meaning it is designed for entry in exit wounds, boomstick wounds specifically is when you want to pull this thing out and try to employ this thing so you can compact the wound and try to prevent further bleeding. We do have some Leatherman Raptor shears. I love these freaking rescue shears. They feel great. They work well. They cut through jeans. They cut through corduroy. They can cut through any type of fabric, so you can get in there and begin to get to work. They also include a seatbelt cutter, just in case you were to need that. If you keep these like in your sun visor and you need those, or you need to cut someone out of a seatbelt if you're rolling up on a situation. They include a glass breaker. So once again, if you're rolling up on a situation, you need to get in there. You can use that glass breaker there, or if you keep these inside your vehicle and you yourself might need to use a glass breaker, they have the glass breaker, a pocket clip. They do come with a sheath, and in this case, this is the sheath that they come with. Now, I decided I'm not going to deploy this sheath because the sheath is huge and this kit is small, but also I just really like the compact size, and if you really want to rock these things, you can use the pocket clip. And just very functional, very well made scissors. They also include a little measuring tool. You know, if you need to take some type of measurement, just has centimeter measurements, everything in a nice compact kit. Anything that I'm talking about, guys, I'll try to link up down below so you can check it out for yourself. Full 180-degree opening on this pouch. Actually, it even goes past 180 degrees. So we'll stick to this side here. A chem light. So I did have to buy a reduced size chem light. My old kit had a very large chem light. And basically, if you're working in a dark environment, you have the flashlight, but if you're by yourself and you need both hands, break this 12 hours of illumination. You can put this near your work site and you can continue to work, just enough light to see what you're doing. We do have some non-latex gloves in here because you do have folks that are allergic to latex. So we do keep some gloves just in case we want to be able to keep our hands from contaminating a wound, or if that wound from contaminating our hands. So it goes both ways. So also in the back here, I do have some frog tape or some medical adhesive tape. The reason you use this to secure bandages or dressings to different wounds without leaving a sticky residue. I like this specifically because it's already cut in strips, easy to apply. They're also hyperallergenic, so it's less likely that when you apply this to somebody that they're going to have an allergic reaction. So kit itself does have a large slip pocket and 2 slip pockets in the front. That's kind of where I stick the chem light and those gloves. Moving on to the other side here, we do have some quick clot. This is some bleeding control dressing. You can use that frog tape to help hold this quick clot down. If you have additional gauze, you can wrap it up. I have additional gauze in my Ouchie Boo Boo kit, but I would use this, pack into a wound, use that frog tape to apply it. So just nice to be able to have this with you, to use this on an arm or a limb or whatever the case may be. Use this in combination with that frog tape. And we also keep a SWAT T tourniquet in here. Now, I would love to have a regular tourniquet, but it's not going to work in such a small kit. But SWAT T tourniquets are still as usable and they stretch a little bit better than a normal tourniquet. I probably am going to stick a micro size Sharpie in here so that I can write down when the actual tourniquet is applied to someone, just for another measure of safety. But once this thing is completely empty, nice and small and compact, and you can fit so much gear inside of these packs. It's not a requirement that you get this big honking, large thing. You can use something like this. This is fine. Now, what are some things that I'm missing out of this thing that I really wish I had? I wish I could have some saline, some tweezers, an Israeli bandage, just those big gauze patches. Those are some things I wish I could stuff in this thing. But just to roll up on a situation and be able to have some minimal trauma items, I think is beneficial, versus carrying the larger pack and having everything, quote unquote, everything that I think I would need in any specific situation. Also, reducing my kit down to just a minimum amount of items really streamlines the process of what I'm going to be able to help out with. I'm also trained and know how to use this stuff. Don't go buying this stuff if you've never applied frog tape, if you never applied quick clot, even if you've never done it on a dead Fred. Make sure you get some training. Think about DIYing this kit. What am I missing? What else do you think I can stuff in this little small Data Crew water slider? It's getting the job done. It's pretty impressive. Am I missing something? Should I scrap something and use something else? Comment down below. I would love to know your thoughts. How do you kit out your data crews? Do you do them the exact same way? Are you doing the traditional EDC items? You can also comment with that as well. If you got a little bit more time, stick around. You can go check out the video I did on the Ouchie Boo Boo kit, which is kitted out in a same data crew pouch. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.